Dear students, on request we have taken a topic for the beginners, those who are in class 5 and 6. One Siddha madam has requested me to teach, to make the concept of different angles clear among the learners. So this is exclusively made for the beginners. The topic is type of angles according to their measure. So let me explain. An angle. An angle has two arms or two rays to look at. So this is one ray and this is one. So two rays are for two arms, and the common endpoint is called vertex, and the space, the gap between two arms is called an interior angle. Okay, now look at this figure. So OB is a ray or an arm. OA is another arm. OA is a ray. Now this space forms an angle. The space between the two arms is called an angle. Here the measure of the angle is 30 degree. And 30 degree we call it an acute angle. Now come to the first one. When two arms, they are coincident, they are overlapping. So you see, two arms, they make one ray. So OB and OA both overlap each other and both are coincident. So no angle is found. In this case, there is no space between OA and OB. So here the measure of the angle is 0 and two rays or two arms are coincident. Okay. Now we come to the third one. Now you see the angle has increased, means that OA has moved, means anticlockwise, moved. Means here the measure of the angle has increased from 30 to 60. You see, OB is an arm and OA is another arm. And the space between them is formed or is called an interior angle. The measure is 60 degree. Okay. And we shall not discuss the exterior angle, and this exterior angle we shall discuss later. So the angle outside the vertex, so outside the two arms is called exterior angle. That shall be discussed later. Okay, we shall discuss later. So come to 60 degree. This is also is an example of acute angle. Okay. Now come to the figure number 3. Figure number 4. Now OA is a ray or an arm. OA is another arm. And both OA and OB are perpendicular to each other. Remember, perpendicular to each other at point O. O is the common vertex. Is the vertex or common endpoint of both the rays. So at this point, the angle is formed 90 degree. So you see, so the angle may vary from 0 degree to 90 degree. So after 0, so angle can be formed. How many angles? So angle degree 1, degree 2, degree 3, degree 4, degree 5. Likewise, like degree 10, 15, 30, 60, 70, 75, 80, 85, up to 89. Up to 89. So from angle degree 1 to degree 89, these angles are called acute angles. Remember this, acute angles. Now you see 0 degree and here 30 degree, here 60 degree, and we can also draw 70 degree, 80 degree, 85 degree and up to 89 degree. When the angle is 90 degree, the measure of the angle is 90 degree, is called a right angle. So here two rays are perpendicular to each other. Okay. Now come to the next figure. So in this figure you see here the interior angle between OA and OB is more than 90 degree. So mark this dotted line. This is perpendicular to point O. So this measure is 90 degree and towards the left 30 degree. So the total angle is 180 degree. So it is greater than 90 degree. Okay. Now you see another example. Here the angle is 90 plus 60, 150 degree. Okay, it is more than 90 degree. So these were example of obtuse angles. So obtuse angles, and now you see this figure. So here the angle value is 108 degree. After 150, when it becomes a straight line, both OA and OB forms a straight line. The angle is called straight angle. Okay, and the measure of this angle is 180 degree. So we can say the angle which is greater than 90 degree and less than 180 degree is called obtuse angles. Okay, so we have mentioned here degree 1 to degree 89. These measures are called acute angles. So mathematically we can write 0 degree here is greater than 0 degree. So the angle is greater than 0 degree and less than 90 degree. What type of angle? Acute angles. All acute angles are greater than 0 degree and less than 90 degree. And when the measure of the angle is 90 degree, it is called right angle. This is the example. Now you see the angle is more than 90 degree. More than 90 degree and less than 180 degree. So from 91, the measure of the angle from 90 degree, 91 degree to 179 degree, all these angles are called obtuse angles. Okay, obtuse angles. Okay. Now we can write the obtuse angle is greater than 90 and less than 180. So this is a mathematical expression. So we have given examples here. Okay. So this is an example of obtuse angle, and when the two rays they form a straight line and O is the common vertex, the vertex are common endpoint, then it is called a straight angle, and the measure is a straight angle measure is 180 degree. Okay, straight angle measure 180 degree. So now we discussed acute angle, that is greater than 0, less than 90, right angle 90 degree, and obtuse angle greater than 90 and less than 180 degree. And when 180 degree is the measure, this is called straight angle. This is the example. Okay. So now you see another example. Now you see if we make perpendicular here, now here 90 and here 90, so 180 degree. But here the angle, if the measure of the angle is 220 degree. The measure of the angle is 220 degree. So in this case, what type of angle is it? This angle we call the reflex angle. So from 181, you see from 181 to 359 or to 359, all the measures of the angles are called reflex angles. So we can write reflex angles means greater than 180 and less than 360. So an example we have taken, that is 220, 230, 250, 270, 300, like this up to 359. These are called reflex angles. So now we discussed acute angle, a right angle, then right angle, then obtuse angle, then straight angle, then a reflex angle. So these are the type of angles according to their measure, means angle value. So that is measured or expressed in unit called degrees. So we have taken some day-to-day examples to make your concept clear about different type angles that we discussed, that is acute, obtuse, right, straight, and reflex angles. Okay. So look at this. So this is an example of a clock, and the clockwise rotation, you see the direction I have marked here. Okay. Now look at here. In a clock, you find two arms. One is minute arm, another is hour arm, and they move clockwise in the right hand direction. Okay. And at different times, they form different angles. So this question might be said in your exam, and it was said previously in others test exams. So you see, at 12 o'clock, it may be 12 noon or 12 midnight. At 12 o'clock, you see the both the O. This is hour arm, and let it O. Hour arm and minute arm, they coincide. So what is the interior angle? You come to this case. No angle is formed here. No angle is formed because two arms are coincident. So the measure of the angle is 0. Okay. Now come to this. Here time is, you look at the clock. So time at a glance you can say that is 2 o'clock. 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. 2 o'clock. Okay. So now you see, for each 5 degree, for 1 degree, for 1 minute, that is 6 degree. For each 5 minute, 30 degree. That we shall discuss afterward. Now you see 30 plus 30, 60 degree. So at 2 o'clock, so the measure is 60 degree. It is an example of an acute angle. Okay. Now come to the figure, third figure. Here is the clock. Now look at the hour arm indicates towards 3 and the minute arm towards 12. What's the time now? That is 3 o'clock, maybe 3 a.m. or 3 p.m. So at this time, you please compare the interior angle formed between two arms, that is minute arm and hour arm. So your angle, measure of the angle is 90 degree. So what type of angle is it? So you come to this is a right angle. So we have written here, this is an example of a right angle. So come to here. Now you see, so if we join this, okay. Now let's look, what's the time now? So the time is 5 a.m. or p.m., 5 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, the hour arm indicates for 5 and the minute arm towards 12. So this is the time 5 o'clock. So what is the measure of the angle? So now you see this is 90 and 30 plus 30, 60, 90 plus 60, 150 degree. So 150 degree. It is an example of obtuse angle. You see obtuse angle because it is obtuse angle greater than 90 and less than 180. So now you see 150 is greater than 90 and less than 150. It is an example of an obtuse angle. So come to this one. So sorry. Okay. Come to this one. Now you see The time is 6 o'clock. The time is 6 o'clock. So hour arm indicates the 6 and the minute arm towards the 12. Now what type of angle is here? Found here. So this is an example of straight angle. So come to this straight angle here. Now both minute arm and hour arm, they form a straight line, and this is the measure of the angle. This is called 180 degree. This angle is called straight angle. It is formed at 6 o'clock. Then come to another example. So we have taken, this is the time 8 o'clock. So at 8 o'clock, you see the measure of the angle is 240 degree. So you see here it is straight angle, but here 240 degree. And come to our example here, 240 degree is greater than 180 and less than 360. So it is an example of a reflex angle. At 8 a.m. or 8 p.m., 8 o'clock, the measure of the angle is 240 degree. Simply you see, this is 180, this is 180, and this is 30, and this is 30. 60. 180 plus 180 plus 60. 240 degree. Okay. So this is an example of the reflex angle. Come to another reflex angle at 9 o'clock, you see. At 9 o'clock, or maybe 9 a.m. or 9 p.m., the measure of the angle is 207 degree. Here the measure is greater than 180 and less than 360. So this is an example of a reflex angle. Now come to the time. What is the time now? That is 12 a.m. or 12 o'clock. 12 a.m. or 12 p.m. So at this time, you see, look at carefully. So hour arm and minute arm, they both coincide. They make a common line, and the vertex is both. The one vertex. Okay. Now the angle from this point to this point is called a complete rotation, a complete angle. This is called complete angle 360 degree. So what we understood here, what we observed here, in case of a reflex angle, the measure may be from 181 degree to 359 degree. All angles with these measures are called reflex angles. Okay, now we discussed, let me sum up. So when two arms they coincide, no angle is found, the measure angle is 0. So then the angle is called acute angle. In acute angle, the measure is here, you see the acute angle. Acute angle measure is greater than 0 and less than 90. Or the values may be 1 to 89 degrees. Okay. When we come to 90 degree, it is called right angle. Okay. Then when the measure of the angle is greater than 90 degree and less than 108 degree, these angles are called obtuse angles, and the measure may vary from 91 to 179 degrees obtuse angle. And whenever it is 180 degree, that is called straight angle. You see straight angle, that is 180 degrees. Now you see a 180 degree straight angle, the measure is 180 degree, it is called straight angle. Then when the measure of the angle is greater than 180 and less than 360, these angles are called reflex angles. Okay, reflex angles. So we can write the reflex angle here is greater than 180 and less than 360. And the values may vary, the measures may vary from 181 to 359. 59. If these values are within this range, the angles are called reflex angles. Hope you have understood different type of angles, that is acute angle, then obtuse angle, then right angle, then straight angle, then reflex angle. Okay? Hope you have all understood the different type of angles according to the interior measures. In our next class, we shall discuss the relationship between two angles according to a measure. According to the measures, means the angles may be complementary to each other, the angles may be adjacent, the angles may be isolated, or the angles may be supplementary to each other. We shall discuss in our next class. Please stay tuned to watch our videos. If you like, you may subscribe our channel. Our channel is at the rate of, our handle is at the rate of AMMP2024. If you like, you may subscribe and share. Thank you all for watching, for your cooperation.